Yeah, very busy week last week. We finished final exams. The kids finished their last finals on Friday. We played Thursday night against Troy. Well, Troy played Thursday night against us, and we lost that game 3-0. And I think our kids were just really exhausted. It's been a long, hard spring. We worked really hard as a team, practiced hard all year, and I think the final exams took its toll on us on the field. But I was really proud on game 2 on Friday. We got down 7-0 early in the game. And at that point, we've give up 10 runs and haven't scored. And Sissy Vasquez hit a 2-run homer. And just from that point on, the team really came to life and scored 4 more, got it 7-6. And then Vic Valdez, I think, hit a home run that tied us up. And then we went on to win the game, I believe, 11-7. So we responded, I believe, with 11 unanswered runs, and then came back on Sunday and won the decisive rubber match 5-1, maybe 5-1, I believe. And I thought we won that game in a little different manner, where we got the lead and just kept extending the lead. And I thought overall we come out of the series with 2 wins, which we're all happy with after you drop game 1 and get behind 7-0 in game 2. And if you look at the weekend landscape across college softball, there was upsets all over the country, and I have no doubt that has to do with finals. The finals week have a dynamic effect on the field and on the field results, and so I think I'm not real upset about that. I would have loved to have got finish the season with a 3-game sweep. But I was so thrilled just to see the kids respond to the 7-0 deficit in game 2 and come back and finish the series the way they did. I thought our Sam Landry was outstanding in that game, and I thought Chloe was outstanding in game 1 in relief. So it was kind of a weekend that we could have done a little bit better, but we're very happy with at the moment.
Coach, you mentioned about finals being, this past week, and now you have the opportunity. You don't have to worry about that. It's just strictly playing softball. How much of more of a relief is that for your team to be able to know they can just go out and just play ball now and not even have to worry about school?
Yeah. It's always a really fun time when you finally get past the school part and your athletes are able to focus 100% on their sport. And we took the day off yesterday, let everybody get some rest because they were absolutely exhausted from studying for finals and then having the 3-game series. Took the complete day off, and then we get back after today, and we really start practicing, getting into postseason preparation. And I think our kids are in a really good mood right now.
Talk about matchups. Obviously, you just played Troy. I mean, that makes it a little tricky. And from a team standpoint and from a pitcher standpoint.
Yeah. We played a winner of Southern Miss and JMU first, and we won't know who that is until, the night before. So we play the playing game. We'll play the winner of Southern Miss and JMU, who we just played in the recent few weeks. And then we'll play the winner of Troy and Coastal, who we've also played this year. So if you look all the way through our brackets, it's teams that we've already played. And that's good in some ways. Like it's really easy. It saves me a lot of time scouting because the scouting reports are done from the regular season. And while there may be minor changes, there won't be dramatic changes. So from the preparation point, I like that. On the other hand, you go to a conference tournament, I know your team would like to see someone that they haven't seen all year too. But, Troy will have to win 1 game to get to us. And I like that matchup, Troy and Coastal. That could be a really good game. I don't know who I would pick to win that. I think they're both very good ball clubs, and they'll both give you competition in the semifinal game. And then Southern Miss is playing really well right now, down the stretch. And I haven't saw Marshall, right? Southern Miss and JMU. I'm sorry. For a long time I thought Marshall, but JMU and Southern Miss, I know Southern Miss is finishing really strong. I haven't followed JMU as much, but we know their postseason history. We know they're have a history of success in the postseason. So we'll just kind of wait and get up and focus on our own team, prepare our team for the postseason in general. And then once we see who we play on Thursday morning at 10 a.m., which will be Wednesday afternoon before we'll know that, then Wednesday night we'll bear down and we'll get a scouting report for that particular game. And then we'll know later that day whether we play Troy or Coastal. Yeah.
If the seeds play out, which is obviously not a guarantee, if the seeds play out, do you get credit for a road win at Texas State? And if you do, who's responsible for making sure the NCAA committee knows that?
Good question, because I don't know the answer to that. I do not know the answer to that. I would think off the top of my head that the tournament sites would be considered neutral. But maybe there is an exception or a clause. And if it is, and I'm sure that, there's people on the committee that know our program really well. And I'm sure they're watching that not only for our program, but for all the tournaments that are going on at host sites on campus. That's a very good question. I've never heard that before, never thought about it. It makes sense that it could be considered a road win, and it also makes sense that it could be considered a neutral site game. That might be a good question for Matt Aber.
But it is a road win.
It very much would be if we play Texas State and it's at home, and they'll definitely have a home field advantage. So it would make sense that you would reward it as a home win. But I don't know that they do.
Well, Coach, with that, do you feel like, with you guys' resume, what you've already put in now, how much more would winning the conference tournament give you guys, a stamp of approval to the NCAA committee to be able to host that regional that you've been trying to get?
That would be a question that probably only the committee could answer. I'll say this as a head coach at Louisiana. I feel extremely confident that with the strength of the Sun Belt Conference RPI this year, I feel extremely confident that even if we lost game one, we would host a regional. I do think it would affect our seeding. And I think that we're in a position that we go over and can get to the semifinal, the final game. I think we need to get to the final game. And if we can win the final game, I don't think we'll be a 15 or 16. I think we'll be as high as 12 to 14, in that 12 to 14 range. I'd be disappointed if we weren't. I'll be disappointed. If we win the conference tournament, I'll be disappointed if we're not a top 12, top 13 seed. But again, that's just me guessing like every other college coach in the country. And I don't know what all these other conferences are going to do this week. And that's today. At the end of the week, if there's a huge amount of teams advance if everything plays out all over the country, then maybe it doesn't change. But I feel really good. Our resume is phenomenal right now, and we're in phenomenal shape. I feel really confident we will host a regional, and I feel like our conference is strong enough that if we can get to Texas State and South Alabama a final, that's a chance to really make an impression at the end of the day and move up another spot or two. I think that's fair.
With everything that y'all done in the last 3 or 4 weeks, is there and you've kind of gotten in a routine lineup wise and defensive rotation wise and all of that, what is your biggest concern going into conference tournament?
We've really had a tremendous finish. I think we're 31-4 in the last 35 games of the season. That's just a phenomenal finish. So mentally, we're in a really good shape. I guess you always worry about an injury to a key player, like a pitcher or a catcher. You worry about that. You a player like Maya Davis, irreplaceable. In our lineup, you worry about a collision with the wall. You worry about getting mono, something simple. So any kind of loss of personnel would probably be top of the line in my mind. And then other than that, you just hope you play well when the big moment comes. You hope your team gels and plays well in the big moment under the bright lights.